He is universally celebrated as the swaggering, leather-clad poet and iconic frontman of Thin Lizzy, but Phil Lynott's earliest rock and roll ambitions were unceremoniously derailed by a severe case of tonsillitis. Before forming his legendary band, he was the lead vocalist for the Irish rock group Skid Row. When he was forced to take a medical leave to have his tonsils removed, the band ruthlessly fired him in his absence, bringing in a young guitarist named Gary Moore. The brutal dismissal turned out to be a massive blessing in disguise. To guarantee he could never be fired from a band again, Lynott bought a bass guitar, learned to play the instrument from scratch, and formed Thin Lizzy. Thin Lizzy's massive breakout hit, a heavy, electrified cover of the traditional Irish folk song Whiskey in the Jar, was completely forced upon the band. They had initially recorded the riff in the studio simply as a joke to pass the time during rehearsals. The record label loved it and insisted on releasing it as a single. Lynott and the band were absolutely furious, aggressively arguing that the traditional acoustic folk song was a terrible representation of their heavy, twin guitar hard rock sound. Despite their bitter protests, the label released it anyway, and it instantly shot to the top of the charts, permanently launching their careers. While he was famous for writing heavy, thundering stadium anthems like Jailbreak and The Boys Are Back in Town, Lynott was also an eager pioneer of electronic synth pop. In 1980, he recorded a highly experimental solo track called Yellow Pearl, co-written with Ultravox's Midge Ure. The song was so catchy and modern that BBC producers selected it to be the official theme song for the legendary weekly music program Top of the Pops. From 1981 to 1986, Lynott's pulsing electronic beat secretly introduced the biggest pop stars in the world to millions of British television viewers. Lynott was a brilliant storyteller who drew heavy inspiration from his tough working-class upbringing. The dangerous, street-tough characters famously referenced in Thin Lizzy's ultimate anthem, The Boys Are Back in Town, were reportedly based on the Quality Street Gang, a notorious real-life Manchester organized crime dynasty. The gangsters were deeply loyal to Lynott's formidable mother, Philomena, and frequently used the basement of her hotel, the Clifton Grange, as their personal clubhouse and drinking den. Growing up as a mixed-race Afro-Guyanese boy in predominantly white 1950s Dublin and Manchester, Lynott unfortunately faced cruel racist bullying. To protect himself, he joined a local boxing club and developed terrifyingly fast hands. According to his lifelong friend and bandmate Brian Downey, a racist attacker once pulled a homemade metal blade on a teenage Lynott during a street altercation. Relying entirely on his amateur boxing training, Lynott completely laid the armed attacker out cold in exactly 25 seconds, proving he was genuinely as tough as his rock star image suggested.